Are we seeing the end of the super teams? I believe we are seeing the end of the super teams. Before, you could have 2 to 3 stars on your team, and that would take you far in the regular season and the playoffs. And we have not been seeing that lately. All of these teams with these star players have not been really winning. And it comes back to actually competing and being accountable on all ends of the court. These players today, they're shooting the lights out. Really, I'd say they're shooting the lights out. So you have to be able to have a competent five on the court at all times. You just can't have 2 star players and other players who just play defense and set screens. No, they actually have to play now. You cannot have 2 players and 3 other players on the floor. You have a full roster. Look at someone like the Jazz. They don't have any all-stars. I know Jordan Clarkson is really good, but they don't have any like all-star players on their team. Know why? Because they don't need it no more. If they're competent in the game, they're going to be able to play defense and knock down shots. And that is the game today. Playing defense and knocking down shots is not no more pick and roll and give it to your 1 or 2 players as go down and score and play defense. No, you can play defense all you want, but if you're not up on your man, and if you're not running side to side, moving down the court all game, it's hard. Look at what Kevin Garnett said a few years ago, that if players today if players in 2000 played today, it would be different because the way the game is being played, you're constantly running up and down the court, moving side to side. It's just not going up and down no more. You actually going out, defending, moving your feet, doing so many different things on the floor. The NBA has turned into all guards from 5'10" to 7 foot. They're all guards. They're all this skill, that run, that jump, that shoot better than any other era in the NBA. These guys are just continue to improve and improve and improve. And we are seeing it in the high school level, how these guys are playing. In the high school level, these guys are playing more athletic than the NBA players of the past. And they're in high school. I know when LeBron came out, what he was doing, it was like we had never even thought a high school player could be this good. And now we got these players coming into the NBA who is as athletic as LeBron was. Like, it is crazy what is going on today. We have 7'4" guys who are playing like Kevin Durant now. Like, these guys that we was like, they're one in a lifetime generation. They're coming into the league constantly. And a lot of them just need to be developed. They have the athletic ability to run and jump, and they could shoot. They just don't have that fundamental game yet. And once you get that fundamental game under you, these players are taking off. Look at marketing from Utah. He came in. He was a solid player out of Arizona, I believe. It took a while. And look at what he's doing now. He just needed time to develop. He's 7 foot, who could shoot, who could handle. The guy is what we have never seen. Like, we've seen Dirk Nowitzki do that. Now we're seeing all these players coming into the NBA. This skill, it is great to watch these players. It's great to see this talent level. Man, these guys are really good now. I was watching Penny Hardaway highlights and seeing, that's the player I grew up watching. That was my favorite player. Just grew up watching him and seeing how amazing he was and what he could do on the floor. And now these players can do what Penny Hardaway could do on the regular. There's so many players who are as skilled as Penny Hardaway is. It is crazy because Penny was one of 5 players from the 80s and 90s combined. Like, there was not too many players who was as talented as Penny Hardaway. And now you have all these players coming in as talented as a guy like Penny Hardaway, as talented as guys like Grant Hill. They're all are playing today, and they're more talented. And the thing is, it's a roster full of all these talented guys that you just cannot have 1 or 2 players dominating, because there's 3 other players who can actually play as well as a lot of star players in the past. You know, you could have a Steph Curry go off and give you 50, a Klay Thompson go off and give you 40, but they also have a roster full of guys who could go off and get you 20 easily every game. It is crazy how you have to make sure that you're competent on every aspect on the floor because everybody can hurt you. Just watching the Lakers last year has opened my eyes up to see how good players are becoming. Like there's teams that's in the bottom that, you know, you leave them open, they're going to knock down the shots, and really never had that before. If they were a bottom team, they're probably going to get smoked every night. But no, these guys are staying in the game because of the 3-point shot, because they could shoot so well. They get to the floor, they're athletic, they're running a break. Today's game is just more skill, and the way it's being played is, you know, better for the players of this time period to be up. So players from the 80s and 90s could compete in this era, but the way that the athleticism and the shooting ability of players today has just excelled more than other eras.